how to fix an unprofitable Google Shopping campaign. In today's video, I'm going to focus on the 7 different categories of reasons what could be causing a shopping campaign to be unprofitable and what you can do to resolve it. I'm going to delve into the different reasons of what could be causing the campaign to be unprofitable, and there will be some examples that I'll be explaining, but this is going to be more of a theory video rather than a practical hands-on video. For some of those hands-on videos, I've already created videos for those, so I'm going to point to those resources and you can watch those other videos if you want even more details. Hi, I'm Clarice Lin, RI doctor who helps Shopify store owners to double the store revenue by scaling up profitable Google Shopping ads. If you're new to my channel, do check out one of my best resources, the Shopify Marketing Guide, where I go into the pros and cons of different ways to drive traffic to your store. Even if you are simply running Google ads, I would highly recommend you to divert your traffic so you can scale up your store in the middle to long term in a profitable manner as well. So link in the description and pinned comments. First of all, I want to define what is the meaning of unprofitable. This could mean that you have a really high cost per conversion compared to your average order value. And this could also mean you have a low conversion rate for your campaign, and you believe that the conversion rate could be higher. Unprofitable could also refer to you have a low return on ad spend, and you are hoping to generate more revenue for every advertising dollar. If at this moment you are facing one or more of those issues that I've just mentioned, then this video is just for you. Do follow on. The first category is inaccurate or incomplete conversion tracking. To make sure that you are measuring the profitability of your campaign correctly, make sure that each of the sale that is coming through a Google Ads click is being tracked and collected correctly. This means that you would have installed the pixel correctly and you're not missing out on any of those sales. In addition, to make sure you have a full picture, make sure you also install enhanced conversion tracking, which is an additional piece of code, because these days there are more and more people use to block those tracking pixels, and in some cases there are people who have clicked through the ads and bought something on the store, but this might not have been attributed to your ads. This means that you're not getting a complete picture of how your ad performance is attracting new customers for your store. Make sure you have this additional piece of code called enhanced conversion tracking installed on your store, such that if there are any purchases resulting from those clicks, you eventually be attributed. So if someone clicks onto your store today from a shopping ad and they're not buying immediately, they're buying maybe in 3 weeks' time, and they came through a different source, maybe they have bookmarked a product, that click or that sale will still be attributed to your campaign. Category number 2, policy violations. This could result in limiting the performance of your products showing up on shopping campaign. Instead of showing to more people, Google might limit the visibility, showing to less people. In a more serious scenario, your products that might have been showing up on shopping ads could be disapproved and would not see the light of the day. To prevent this from happening, log into Google Merchant Center and go to the Diagnostics tab and make sure that you have 0 item issues appearing there. If there are any products that are disapproved or if there are any products that has warning sign, make sure that those problems are resolved such that all your products, if you have decided to run shopping ads for those products, make sure that they get full visibility. By doing that, you are making sure that any products that are very profitable will continue to be shown in those shopping ads to your ideal customers. Typically, those issues are a result of non-compliance with Google's guidelines, or you're not submitting the correct information. Sometimes it could be a mismatch in currency conversion, or you have put an incorrect pricing. There's a mismatch of what's being seen on your landing page, the product page. These are issues that you might want to resolve. Other possible policy approval could result in you didn't set up Google Merchant Center correctly, your shipping information or your sales tax has not been fully completed, so this could result in limited performance for some of your products. So make sure you have no errors showing up in Google Merchant Center. As what I've said, go to the Diagnostics tab, make sure there are no issues for item, account, and product feed. As long as there are no issues, you're in good shape. Category number 3, targeting issues. Targeting issues would refer to, for example, if you're targeting multiple countries with that one campaign, this is not a best practice. You should avoid doing that. In different markets, there are different customers and there are different volume of competitors and click-through rate and cost per click. This means that the performance of your ads could differ country from country. By setting one campaign to target only one country, you have higher control over the performance as well as how much ad budget you want to put into it. If you combine multiple countries, for example, if you want to target the United States and Canada at the same time, you will not be able to distribute to say, I want to spend $50 for United States and $50 for Canada. It doesn't allow you to do that. So if Canada was your bigger market and you want to spend more ad spend on that instead of the United States, you are unable to do that. You have no control, because if you combine them into one single campaign, Google decides for you where they want to spend ad budget. So if you have different profit margins for your Canada customers and United States customers, then ideally you want to have separate campaigns, so you can then put more money towards the more profitable campaign for that country, and you can scale up in a more profitable manner. If you want more specifics around setting up campaigns to target multiple countries, you can check out one of my other videos where I go into more depth targeting multiple countries in your Google Shopping campaign, link in the top right hand corner of the screen. Because Google Shopping ads doesn't allow you to select what are the search terms that you want to be targeting for, nonetheless, you still have control over deciding which are the keywords you don't want your product ads to be showing up for. Let's say if Google makes the wrong association and show your products for search terms that are not related to your products at all and belong to a different category altogether, you can go to your search terms report, review those, and exclude those search terms. This action of excluding those search terms is called negative keyword exclusion. You want to regularly review those search terms that Google is showing your product ads for, and then you exclude them accordingly. And in this way, you tell Google, right, this search terms has nothing to do with my products. I don't want my product ads to be showing up for those. I want my product ads to be showing up for other search terms instead. And this is an important exercise you need to be doing on a regular basis so that you can make sure that Google is only showing your keywords for the right search terms. Otherwise, you could be spending a lot of money on clicks that has nothing to do with your store, and most likely those people are not going to turn into customers. In a more serious case, if your product ads keep showing up for the wrong keywords altogether, then it's time for you to actually head back to your product feed and look at those information that you've submitted to Google, because if you are putting in the wrong information, that leads to Google associating your products to the wrong people searching for it. In this case, this would also mean you are spending a lot of money on your ads, but you're not getting those conversions. Category number 4, a low quality product feed. This product feed is essentially the catalog of your store. Products that you want to be showing up on the shopping tab, you have to submit in that product feed. This product feed, it contains all the information about your products, including the product title, the description, price, the color, the size, other attributes, which could be the length, the weight, the material, etc. These are different information that you need to put into the product feed for each individual product. If you're not putting in complete information, if you have missing information, or if your description is too brief, or your title doesn't contain the correct keywords, what happens is Google will read through your product feed and then it's unable to make the connection between people searching for a certain set of keywords and your products. You're more likely having your ad showing to the wrong people, and you could be getting clicks, but those people are not likely to turn into customers, and that will result in your campaign being unprofitable. So you want to make sure that the customers that you are looking for, the keywords they're typing into Google, is actually contained within your product feed. It could be in the title, it could be repeated in the description. You just need to make sure they are there. And if there are any associated phrases as well, there are different words with the same meaning, you can also add it into your product feed. Another important attribute is the quality of your product images. You want to make sure that your primary image that's showing up in the product feed is of high quality, and you know that the people who are going to buy from you, they'll be attracted by that picture and they're going to click on that ad and head on to your store. If that image is not attractive enough, or if it's not compelling enough, then you're not going to get that click. Or maybe you might get clicks from people who are less willing to pay the price of your product. So if you're selling a premium product or an artisan product, you want to make sure that your product image is of really high quality, showing the customers this is going to be how it looks like. A low quality picture is usually associated with a poor quality product, and if you are trying to get premium customers, then that's not the way for you to do that. If you haven't refreshed your product images for a while, maybe it's time to hire a new product photographer to take new pictures that's going to highlight the quality attributes of your product. If you're struggling with currency mismatch issue for your shipping information in Google Merchant Center, you can check out one of my videos for more details on how to resolve it. There are more screenshots in there, so you can check that out. Link in the top right hand corner of the screen. If you want to learn of more strategies to craft an optimized product title that gets you more clicks through Google Shopping ads, you can check out one of my videos, how to craft product titles that get more Google clicks. Link in the top right hand corner of the screen. Category number 5, incorrect bidding strategy selected and poor budget management. For your shopping campaign, you have 3 bidding strategies to select from, which is the maximize clicks, target return on ad spend, as well as manual cost per click. If your selection is manual cost per click, make sure that your cost per click cap is set high enough, because if you set it too low, even if you want to keep cost per click to be low, this will result in your shopping ad not being shown at a higher position, or if there are opportunities for your ads to be shown, then because of your cap limits for your cost per click, your ads might not be shown and Google might show your competitors' ads instead. Make sure when you're setting the cost per click for your bidding strategy, make sure it's high enough. If you selected manual cost per click as your bidding strategy, and if you're selecting target return on ad spend, make sure that you don't set too high a return on ad spend. Maybe you want to get as high return on ad spend as possible, but if you set it too high, what this means is that it makes it difficult for Google to find the right customers who are going to spend that huge amount in that first purchase. Usually for a new customer, they might be more cautious, so they might be willing to spend a certain amount, but they might not be willing to spend a humongous amount. You don't set an unrealistic high target return on ad spend, because that will limit Google's ability to find the right customers for your store, especially if your customers are more likely going to turn into returning customers in the long run. Then make sure you are setting a lower target return on ad spend, because Google will then try very hard to find you more customers, and these customers is going to buy from you again and again. That would also justify your ad spend. In terms of poor budget management that could result in an unprofitable campaign is when you suddenly raise your budgets twice as much. So if you're spending like $100, suddenly you raise your budget to $200, or if you're spending $1,000 and then you double your ad budget to $2,000, and Google is unable to find the number of new customers that quickly, so they are going to start randomly showing your ads to more random people, showing to people who are less likely to buy. This will mean you'll still be getting a lot of clicks, but your conversion rates could go down, and this is one of the reasons. If you decide to scale up your shopping campaign and you want to make sure that your ad budget still remain efficiently spent, then make sure you only increase your ad budget by 20% each time, and you can adjust it accordingly. And at the same time, do go to your product feed and optimize and add as many keywords as possible so that you can help Google to find more of the right people who are searching for your product. If you want to learn more of the specifics of what to do when your campaign is limited by budget, you can also check out one of my videos where I go into more details. Link in the top right hand corner of the screen. The next category I want to talk about is poor campaign structure and organization. Most people when starting out would say, oh, let's stick to one ad group, or let's just stick to one campaign and we're just going to run all the ads in that one campaign. This might seem like a good idea for management in terms of you managing the products, but in terms of targeting, this is actually a huge obstacle. This is how their algorithm is being structured. So if you want to get a good performance for your products, if your products that you have on your store belong to different categories of products, let's say if you have a pet store and you're selling products for dog owners, cat owners, rabbit owners, then you don't want to lump everything into one campaign and one ad group. You want to structure out for maybe if you have a campaign just for dog owners, one campaign for cat owners, and one campaign for rabbit owners, because there are different products that they need. And in that scenario as well, you might also want to have different ad group. Let's say if you're selling products for dog, you might want to have an ad group for collars. You want to have an ad group for harnesses. You want to have a different ad group for the clothes. Because in this case, it helps Google to identify more of the right people searching for their products. This will get you higher performance if you structure it in that manner. If you lump everything into one group, that's not going to help you see which products are more profitable, which are actually not profitable, and you should not run ads for those. And it also allows you to allocate more budget if there are highly profitable products that you want to spend more ad budget on. The more products that you lump into one single category, this actually is giving Google full control of how they want to spend your money, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get the best results for that. So if you have everything lumped into one category and it's not performing very well, and you have different categories of products and you have thousands of products, then this is kind of a really wrong structure that you have right there. You definitely want to break it up. If you're structuring your campaign correctly, it allows Google to show your ads to the right people searching for a certain type of keywords that are actually grouped together. Also, if there are certain products that have high performance, you might actually see that there are also certain products that might not see the light of the day, products that you have high margins for but are not getting shown to your customers. Then you may want to break it out into a separate category or a separate campaign so you can actually allocate the right budget towards that. For those products, they're not getting the conversions at, either you look at optimizing that product by itself through its title, description, or maybe you need a better picture, or that product is just not selling. Then you might want to focus on other products that are actually converting so you can actually spend your advertising dollar in the best possible manner. The seventh category that I want to talk about are website and landing page issues resulting in an unprofitable or a non-converting campaign. If your landing page is not aligned to your ad, so if someone clicks on your ad and they come to your store and see that product page that has nothing to do with your product, or it's not giving enough information, or it's not convincing, it's not trustworthy at all, or it's not in line with the shopper's expectations, this will result in them not deciding to buy. And what happens as well is it's also a discredit to you because you're going to get a low ad quality score, and that means in future opportunities where your ad will be shown, Google is less likely to show your ad because there's a mismatch in terms of managing the customer's expectations. You have to understand that Google's priority is to make their users happy. This means that they want their users to find what they want really quickly. And if they're clicking on an ad, coming to a store to see a store page that has nothing to do with what they want, or it doesn't look trustworthy, they don't want to buy at all, this does not reflect well on Google. And to make sure that that does not happen to your store, make sure that your store pages is set up correctly. If there's any missing information, incorrect information, please correct that. Put in as much details as possible. Make sure that your description is compelling enough, persuading those new customers to decide to buy. Your description is actually acting as your silent salesperson. If there is a store, there's usually a salesperson to introduce to the customers and convincing them, telling them all the benefits and all the advantages of buying that particular product. Make sure that your description has the same effect on your shoppers as well. Answer the key concerns of the customers, address that in the FAQ section. Make sure your contact information is visible, and also make sure your shipping information and your return policy is clearly stated. You put all those information to be easily discoverable and foundable on your store, and this is going to help foster that trust and rapport with your future customers, and this will more likely encourage them to buy. If there are any issues with your store and with your store pages, this could also result in, even if you're getting those clicks, but those clicks are not converting as much as they would. If you need an external eye to take a look at your store, to carry out an audit and give tailored, personalized recommendations to improve on your conversion rates, or to increase your return on ad spend, or to decrease your cost per conversion, do get in touch. My contact details in the description and pinned comments. If you found this video useful and valuable, please remember to give it a like. It does help with the algorithm. And do subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos on how to double your store traffic by scaling up profitable Google Shopping ads. I'm Claristine, the RI Doctor, signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!